Hello everyone, my name is Shajid and I'm here to guide you through creating a web app that provides information about Iftar, Sahur times, the current day of Ramadan, and all your prayer times. Before we dive into the coding, let's take a quick overview of what we will be covering in this tutorial. Firstly, we will kick things off by setting up our development environment, initializing our SvelteKit project. I will guide you through each step, ensuring you're set up for success from the get-go. Next, we will explore how to fetch the user's geolocation using the browser's built-in API. This crucial step allows us to provide personalized prayer time information based on the user's current location. Then comes the heart of our project, integrating the Al-Hadan API. You will see how we can easily retrieve accurate prayer time data and seamlessly integrate it to our web app, making it a valuable resource for our users. You can create a SvelteKit project using npm create svelte @latest and your project name. You can get this code at SvelteKit docs or in link in my description. Create a skeleton project. Go to your project directory cd, in my case cd my app. Now npm install. Add the project to your GitHub repository. For CSS, I will be using Tailwind. You can use this CLI command to install Tailwind in your project. You can get this from the link in my description or from this Tailwind docs. To set up Tailwind correctly in your project, you first have to configure the Svelte config file and copy and paste the white processes from the Tailwind docs. And now for the Tailwind config file, replace the content with this. In your source folder, create an app.css file, then copy and paste. In your page.svelte file, write a script tag and in there import app.css. Let's paste some example code to test if our Tailwind is working or not. It works. Now we will fetch the user's geolocation using the browser's built-in API. Let's create two variables, latitude and longitude. We need to get the user location on page load, and to do that, we can use the SvelteKit provided onMount function. Anything we put in the onMount function will run once the page loads. Now, let's make the getLocation function. This function begins with a conditional check to see if the browser supports geolocation. If it does, it proceeds to call the getCurrentPosition method, which asynchronously retrieves the user's current position. The position arrow function takes in the position object as a parameter. This object contains the latitude and longitude coordinates of the user's location. In this arrow function, we extract the latitude and longitude coordinates from the position object and store them in the variables. Let's add a console error in case if the browser does not support geolocation. With conditional rendering, if latitude is a truthy value, we will render latitude and longitude, and if not, we will render the h1 tag with hello world in it. Let's test if we can fetch the user location. As you can see, we're getting the latitude and longitude numbers. But this is not my real geolocation. I'm using a geolocation spoofer. Now, for integrating the API, go to aladahan.com, APIs, prayer-time-app-delta, and choose any of the endpoints. I'm using the number 8. It gets the prayer time by date and latitude and longitude. Here is the example request. For this API to work, it needs a date, latitude, and longitude. In our project, let's create a current date variable. Let's create an async function called fetchData, with its parameters being latitude, longitude, and date. In a try-catch block, we will fetch the data from the API. Remember to change HTTP to HTTPS. We will use template literal for date, latitude, longitude. If the response is not okay, an error is thrown to indicate a failure in fetching data. If the response is successful, we will proceed to extract the JSON data using the res.json method and assign it to the item variable. In case of any errors during the fetch operation, such as network issues or API errors, the catch block captures the error and logs it to the console for debugging purposes. We need to call the API on page load. To do that, we need to modify the getLocation function. We begin by initializing a new date object named today, which represents the current date and time. Next, we extract the day, month, and year components from the today object to construct the current date string. We use the getDate, getMonth, and getFullYear methods to retrieve the respective components. The obtained components are concatenated to form the current date string in the format of day, month, and year. Once we have the latitude, longitude, and current date information, we invoke the fetchData function with these parameters. Oops, I forgot to initialize the item variable. Now, let's see if we can fetch some data from the API. It seems that we have failed. Let's see if we can fix this. Let's check the API docs. It seems that it's a spelling mistake. I misspelled Fajr and timings. Let's also change latitude to item. It's now working. I'm just going to copy and paste a 12-hour format function. Let's convert the time to a 24-hour format. Let's make it a little beautiful. Making the whole UI in this video is going to take a lot of time, so I'm just going to copy and paste it. I have to modify my Tailwind config file as I'm using some custom themes. If you want to check out the UI components, check them out in my GitHub repository, link in description. I also added some HTML to render the Hijri date, month, and year. Let's see how our web app looks. And there we have it. I like this. It looks very good. There are a lot more options in the API that you can play around with, but for this project, we will end it here. With Vercel, you can deploy SvelteKit project with zero configuration, so you should be able to very easily deploy your project with Vercel. Thanks for tuning in to this tutorial on building a Ramadan prayer times web app with SvelteKit. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this. Very happy coding and see you in the next one.